moisture and that instability continues to move up into the Midwest. We have a cold front that's coming through. Nicholas continues to fall apart, but has a great deal of moisture to bring into our southern states. The center of rotation for us in southeastern Texas and southwestern Louisiana continues to bring that additional rainfall up into Louisiana, over into Mississippi and Alabama, affecting us along our coastal regions as well. Additional rainfall, localized flooding, some higher winds that continue to be a threat to us even as we get toward the end of the week, very likely the first part of our weekend, as this continues to move up through our deep southern states. So with that in mind, it's a storm we'll be tracking closely, watching as it's making its way through, reacting with this frontal boundary that's coming through. And what that's doing is it's clearing out in its wake, but it's really pushing that heat and that humidity and making for some more unstable conditions for us across our southern states, of which we'll be tracking right here from our National Weather Center at Newsnet. We have sports next. Stay with us.
More news, more often. This is Newsnet.
KAGW meteorologist Mark Bogner here with a check of your Wichita Weather Almanac for the 16th day of September. And our normal high temperature is down to 83. Our normal low is down to 60. Record high of 105 was set in 1978, and the record low of 42 set way back in 1903. And some warm temperatures around, definitely above normal here for the next several days, with 88 on Thursday and 90 on Friday, and lots of sunshine. Partly cloudy and 91 on Saturday, and then Sunday our hottest day with lots of sunshine and a high of 94. 93 on Monday, and then our next storm system and front arrive on Tuesday and Wednesday, bringing us a chance of thunderstorms, and highs backing off to the mid-80s on Tuesday. We'll try some upper 70s on Wednesday. Lows will rise up to the low 70s by Sunday and Monday morning, but then back off to the low 60s by Wednesday morning. So we're going to try to get a little taste of fall in here as we head toward the middle of next week.
Jabbar's is your homegrown, locally owned home improvement store. And we've stocked up with huge inventory when others have not. An in-stock, ready-to-go inventory of cabinets, vanities, doors, trim, casing, paint, and more. All priced the Jabbar's way. Box stores and chain stores are on short inventory and heavy on overhead. Right now is the time to save. Make the most of what you spend at Jabbar's Home Improvement.
Attention all area artists. At the Market is holding its fall juried art exhibition on Saturday, November 13th. Go to atmwichita.com to get all the details. Cash prizes will be awarded to the top artists with lots of recognition. Meet our jurors. Read about their qualifications at atmwichita.com. Again, calling all area artists. Go to atmwichita.com for the details and get your art entered. The Market Art Gallery is located inside at the Market in Plaza West Shopping Center.
Welcome back, and we appreciate you staying here with us. It's time for sports. I'm Derek Tate. You know, it's been 1,330 days since the disgraced former U.S. gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar was sentenced up to 175 years in prison for sexual abuse against over 100 young female gymnasts who were associated with Team USA Gymnastics. And that's abuse that spanned over 2 decades. Tragically, the horrific nature of these crimes, well, they can and in most cases will forever impact the countless victims for the rest of their lives. One of those lives is the young woman widely regarded as the greatest gymnast of all time, Simone Biles, who, along with her former teammate Michaela Maroney, put forth both emotional and forceful testimony on Wednesday, condemning FBI officials who failed to act in a timely manner when the sexual abuse allegations against Larry Nassar were originally brought to the FBI's attention.
I don't want another young gymnast, Olympic athlete, or any individual to experience the horror that I and hundreds of others have endured before, during, and continuing to this day in the wake of the Larry Nassar abuse. To be clear,
Take your time.
To be clear, I blame Larry Nassar, and I also blame an entire system that enabled and perpetrated his abuse. USA Gymnastics, and the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee knew that I was abused by their official team doctor long before I was ever made aware of their knowledge. I sit before you today to raise my voice so that no little girl must endure what I, the athletes at this table, and the countless others who needlessly suffered under Nasser's guise of medical treatment, which we continue to endure today. We suffered and continue to suffer because no one at FBI, USAG, or the USOPC did what was necessary to protect us. We have been failed, and we deserve answers.
These individuals clearly violated policies and were negligent in executing their duties, and in doing so, more girls were abused by Larry Nassar for over a year. To not indict these agents is a disservice to me and my teammates. It is a disservice to the system which was built to protect all of us from abuse. It was a disservice to every victim who suffered needlessly at the hands of Larry Nassar after I spoke up. I am tired of waiting for people to do the right thing because my abuse was enough and we deserve justice.
Now, the FBI did acknowledge conduct that was, quote, inexcusable after the watchdog investigation that the FBI's Indianapolis field office gave incomplete and inaccurate information to internal FBI inquiries. And we'll go from federal court to the National Football League version of court, if you will, as the often suspended wide receiver from the University of Baylor, Josh Gordon, is once again seeking reinstatement and believes he deserves another chance in the NFL. And well, and some good news for him, the NFL Players Association agrees with the troubled wideout, as ESPN reports that the Players Association has given Josh Gordon the green light to return to the league, with the NFLPA adding that he has successfully completed his NFL monitored treatment program. However, as is the case with all reinstatements in the NFL, the judge, jury, and executioner is the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. And quite frankly, Josh Gordon's name has come across Goodell's desk quite often during his NFL career, as the 2013 Pro Bowler was suspended for a 6th time back in 2019 for violating the substance abuse and performance-enhancing substances policy, where both his personal and professional life have been full of peaks and valleys, as Josh Gordon led the league in receiving yards back in 2013 while missing 2 games just at the age of 22. But since then, Gordon has been constantly battling to stay sober, failing to play more than 12 games in a season over the last 7 years. Now stay tuned. Don't you touch that dial, because we got more news for you. We'll be right back.
Wasting another weekend working overtime on a painting project? The uneven coverage of that roller not cutting it? Tired of battling with the brush? Say so long to those obsolete rollers, brushes, and paint tray catastrophes. Introducing Paint Zoom, the amazing one-coat professional power painter that turns any project into a piece of cake. Transform any ugly space into a designer showplace in just minutes. You just pull the trigger and paint. Anyone can paint, stain, or varnish just like a pro. It's a fact. The best professional painters all use power sprayers. Inside the Paint Zoom Power Pack is an industrial-strength 650-watt motor that delivers the power you need for the biggest projects. Dial in the coverage you want for vertical or horizontal painting. There's even a pinpoint setting to get you into the tightest spaces and places rollers and brushes can't reach. The Paint Zoom does the hard work for you, painting in just minutes all of those surfaces that would take you hours with a brush and roller. Paint flat walls, stucco, brick, paneling, concrete, wood, and so much more. Now you can bring knickknacks and worn-out antiques up from the basement and back to life. And it does it all in one coat, cutting your time and paint costs in half. You'd spend thousands for professional painters and up to $600 for one professional paint sprayer. But you won't pay $600 or anywhere near that amount, because for a limited time, you can try Paint Zoom for free. Just pay shipping and processing. Order in the next 10 minutes and you'll also receive the perfect painting kit, complete with the hands-free shoulder strap, an extra large roll of trim and border tape, and 2 jumbo drop cloths. It's a $30 value, but it's yours free. Try the Paint Zoom in your own home for a full 30 days. And if it isn't the fastest, easiest, and most affordable way to paint anything, simply return it and your credit card will not be charged another penny. And keep the perfect painting kit, a $30 value, as our gift. This is a limited time offer, so call or go online to get your Paint Zoom right now.
More weather, more often. This is NewsNet.
Thanks for keeping it here. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren is pressuring the Fed to break up Wells Fargo. Meanwhile, Amazon is slated to hire 125,000 new workers in the coming months. Eddie Hirschfeld has that and more in your Business Brief.
Here's your Business Brief. Mortgage demand jumped last week. This is according to the Mortgage Bankers Association's weekly report out earlier today. Applications to purchase a new home jumped by a staggering 7% for the week. That's the biggest jump since April. However, it is still down 11% from this time a year ago. Applications to refinance a home loan, on the other hand, tumbled by about 3%. The average contract interest rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage came in unchanged, also at a little more than 3%. Amazon is ramping up for a massive hiring spree. The e-commerce giant is slated to hire 125,000 new warehouse and logistics workers across the country. This is in an effort to prepare for the upcoming holiday season. Now, the company has come under fire in recent years for alleged poor working conditions, so to entice potential workers, it's increasing pay. The average starting rate will be $18 an hour. It's also offering signing bonuses for select roles up to $3,000. Now to Washington. Senator Elizabeth Warren is calling on the Federal Reserve to break up Wells Fargo. The Massachusetts senator penned a letter to Fed Chair Jay Powell calling for such a move. The progressive Democrat cited increasing risks to consumers. This comes amid a slew of controversies in recent years facing Wells Fargo, most recently amid the bank's decision to end personal lines of credit. Warren has called on the central bank to use its authority to force Wells Fargo to separate its banking unit from its financial services divisions. Warren has been a known Wells Fargo hawk since 2016 amid revelations that the bank created fake accounts for real people without their knowledge or consent. Facebook findings. According to new reporting from the Wall Street Journal, the social media giant is very well aware of the detrimental effects Instagram has on teenage girls, citing leaked internal documents. The tech giant has been reportedly studying the impact the platform has on teens since 2019. The report has some concerning findings. Instagram made body image issues worse for 1 out of every 3 teenage girls. More broadly, teens reported the platform only increases rates of anxiety and depression, which actually is consistent across multiple age groups. This comes only months after the head of Instagram said the impact on teenage mental health was, quote, quite small, which turned out to be inaccurate and only echoed by countless academic studies suggesting the opposite. With your Business Brief, I'm Andy Hirschfeld in New York.
Now to health news. Do you tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth when talking to your physician? One recent survey found almost a quarter of people admit they lie to their doctors. 75% of them even cite embarrassment as the reason. But there are certain things you should never fib about with the doctor. Nancy Alvarez has the story.
Have you ever fibbed to your doctor?
But I have to, make some lie.
Told a little white lie?
Not smoking tobacco.
Stretch the truth.
I definitely give very vague.
Lying about a nicotine habit can cause problems if you need surgery. Smoking can interfere with your healing process, so doctors need to know if you lied up. Be honest about how much you drink. Alcohol can interfere with certain meds and tests. Also be truthful about the supplements and meds you take. Your doc needs to know if you're at risk for interactions. Never lie about your surgical history, whether it was a minor or major procedure. This information can help minimize your risks for future complications, like scar tissue and anesthesia reactions. You should tell your doctor the truth about your sexual history, including whether you've ever had an STD. This will help your physician determine important tests and treatments you might need. And women should let their doctor know if they've ever had an abortion or miscarriage. This information can help your provider accurately assess your fertility and reproductive health. With lies you should never tell your doctor. I'm Nancy Alvarez reporting.
According to another survey, men are more likely to lie to their doctors about alcohol consumption, while women are more likely to hide info about sexual partners. And patients 35 and older are more likely to lie about their exercise habits than younger patients, who are more likely to lie about smoking. Straight ahead, we'll have more, so keep it right here on Newsnet.
More often, covering the nation and the world. This is Newsnet, Nightside Edition.
Hello, and thanks for tuning in to Newsnet Nightside Edition. I'm Remington Hernandez. It is great to have you with us. Now, let's take a look at the news from across the country and around the world. Coming up, the Food and Drug Administration will weigh whether to recommend COVID-19 booster shots Friday. Plus, President Joe Biden's $3.5 trillion budget proposal faced another setback. Then, the U.S., U.K., and Australia are teaming up. And SpaceX made history in private space flight. The details of these stories and others ahead, but first, let's get the latest on the coronavirus pandemic. President Joe Biden met Wednesday with the leaders of big businesses like Walt Disney and Columbia Sportswear to discuss his recently announced vaccine requirement for companies.
It's about beating this virus, and it's about saving lives. That's what this is all about. I look forward to working together to beat this pandemic and keep our economy growing and growing strong.
The White House meeting comes less than a week after Biden said that the Labor Department is working to mandate that businesses with 100 or more employees order those workers to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19 or show a negative test result at least weekly. Some 80 million workers would be subject to that requirement. Just over half the U.S. population has been fully vaccinated, and Biden noted that employer moves toward mandates are already moving to improve the nation's lagging vaccination rate. And his administration hopes that the mandate announcement will jumpstart the business community's embrace of the requirements even before the rule is implemented as well. All executives at Biden's meeting have already put in place mandates at their companies or are working to. The debate over whether to offer widespread booster shots of the COVID-19 vaccine has been growing for weeks. And now, as Tolly Anderson tells us, federal regulators are set to meet to discuss their final decision.
Will those of us who've fully been vaccinated be eligible for a third shot soon? We may have an answer on that by the end of the week. Friday, influential government advisors plan to debate if a vaccine booster is needed and decide whether there is enough data to prove Americans should roll up their sleeves again. Wednesday, the Food and Drug Administration posted much of the evidence the advisory panel will be reviewing, but the agency stuck a decidedly neutral tone on the possibility. Even as top officials in the Biden administration have already made preparations to begin a booster campaign as soon as next week. Among the arguments that will be heard are points from vaccine maker Pfizer, who contend while protection against severe disease is holding strong in the U.S., immunity against milder infection wanes somewhere around 6 to 8 months. The company has given 306 people an extra dose and recorded levels of virus-fighting antibodies 3 times higher than after their initial shots. Importantly, Pfizer says the antibodies appear strong enough to fight the Delta variant. Pfizer is also pointing to data from Israel, which began offering boosters over the summer. 1 million people 60 and older have been studied there, and those who got the extra shot were far less likely to become infected soon afterward, translating to 95% effectiveness. Despite this, the FDA reviewers have suggested they'll mainly look at how vaccines are working among Americans. And as it stands, data still shows all U.S. authorized COVID-19 vaccines vaccines protect against severe illness. Regardless of what the panel recommends, however, the FDA is not bound to follow its advice. And two top FDA vaccine regulators have already signaled they're against boosters. But whatever the outcome, health officials all agree everyone should receive their initial doses. I'm Tolly Anderson reporting.
If the FDA does decide to recommend booster shots, the matter will be taken up by a panel of experts at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention who will decide what sections of the population will be eligible. Turning to Washington now. As the House drafts the legislation necessary to make President Biden's $3.5 trillion budget proposal a reality, a committee dealt the first setback Wednesday by derailing a money-saving plan to let Medicare negotiate the price it pays for prescription drugs. The House Energy and Commerce Committee dropped the proposal from its piece of Biden's signature domestic initiative on a tie vote, with 3 moderate Democrats joining Republicans to oppose the pharmaceutical provision. The defeat underscores the power the centrists have as Democrats try pushing the package through the narrowly divided Congress. The defeat did not shut down the Democrats' path forward on the proposal. The House Ways and Means Committee is weighing nearly identical provisions. And the vote came as Biden held face-to-face meetings with 2 moderate Democrat senators who have said their proposal is too big. It wasn't all bad news for the White House Wednesday, however, as the Biden administration reported 2.8 million consumers took advantage of a special 6-month period to sign up for subsidized health insurance made more affordable by the COVID-19 relief law. Altogether, 12.2 million Americans were actively enrolled in coverage under the Affordable Care Act. That's an increase of about 20% since the end of last year and amounts to an all-time high. President Biden called that number encouraging and urged Congress to keep the trend going by extending the more generous financial assistance, which is currently available only through the end of next year. Meanwhile, the U.S. announced Wednesday that it is launching a new partnership with the United Kingdom and Australia in the Indo-Pacific region.
Our nations and our brave fighting forces have stood shoulder to shoulder for literally more than 100 years. Today, we're taking another historic step to deepen and formalize cooperation among all 3 of our nations, because we all recognize the imperative of ensuring peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific over the long term.
President Biden, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, and Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison appeared together virtually to detail the new alliance, which will be called AUKUS. Officials say the partnership will allow for greater sharing of defense knowledge in areas including artificial intelligence, cyber and underwater defense capabilities as well. Australia will also acquire nuclear-powered submarines as part of the deal. The new security alliance is likely to be seen as a provocative move by China, though an official denied the move was directly targeted at the nation, saying the collaboration is about a larger effort to sustain engagement and deterrence. Speaking of China, the top U.S. military officer defended the phone calls he made to his Chinese counterpart in the final months of Donald Trump's presidency, saying the conversations were intended to convey reassurance to the Chinese military and were in line with his responsibility as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The phone calls were described in excerpts from the new book, Peril, which states Chairman Mark Milley told China he would warn them in the event of a U.S. attack and made service members vow to involve him if Trump ordered a nuclear strike. Some in Congress accused Milley of having overstepped his authority and urged President Biden to fire him, but the commander-in-chief indicated he stands behind the chairman. States began learning Wednesday how many Afghan evacuees from the first group of nearly 37,000 arrivals are slated to be resettled in their states. California is projected to take more arrivals than any other, with over 5,200 going to the Golden State. Alabama and Mississippi are each slated to welcome 10, while Hawaii, South Dakota, West Virginia, Wyoming, and the District of Columbia are not expected to resettle anyone from the first group. States with a historically large number of resettled Afghans, including Maryland, Texas, and Virginia, are again welcoming a disproportionate number of evacuees. Oklahoma, which had resettled a relatively small number of Afghans, is now slated to receive 1,800 new arrivals. The evacuees all go through vigorous security and health screens. Those 12 and older are also required to get a COVID-19 vaccine. After more than 8 years fighting extremists in Africa, France's president announced Wednesday evening that the leader of the Islamic State in the Greater Sahara has been killed. President Emmanuel Macron called Adnan Abu Walid al-Sahrawi's killing a major success for the French military, but gave no further details. France's defense minister also called the killing a decisive blow against the terrorist group. Al-Sahrawi had claimed responsibility for a 2017 attack in Niger that killed 4 U.S. military personnel and 4 people with Niger's military. His group has also abducted foreigners in the Sahel region and is believed to be still holding American Jeffrey Woodke, who was abducted from his home in Niger in 2016. SpaceX made history Wednesday night when its first private flight streaked into orbit with 2 contest winners, a healthcare worker and their rich sponsor. The recycled Falcon rocket soared from the same Kennedy Space Center pad used by the company's 3 previous astronaut flights for NASA. And the flight marked the most ambitious leap yet in space tourism. It was the first time a spacecraft circled Earth with an all-amateur crew and no professional astronauts. The Dragon capsule's 2 men and 2 women are looking to spend 3 days going round and round the planet from an unusually high orbit of 357 miles, 100 miles higher than the International Space Station, before splashing down off the Florida coast this weekend. And energy and technology companies helped lift stocks broadly higher Wednesday, reversing the market's pullback from a day earlier. Here are the numbers. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 237 points, or 0.7%, to 34,814. The Nasdaq added 124 points, that's 0.8%, to 15,161. And the S&P 500 rose 38 points, also 0.8%, to 4,480. Straight ahead, we'll have more, so keep it right here.
A lot of hair, but it's thin.
I'm just a girl with thin hair, balding, and I'm not even that old.
My hair in the front, it's bald.
Now you can get beautiful, thicker looking hair instantly with Topic, the #1 instant concealer for fine or thinning hair.
I have thinning hair and I'm only in my 30s. So I started using Topic. What a huge, huge change that was for me.
Nobody knows it's there but me. It just makes me really feel confident and beautiful.
I didn't expect that there would be something that would work so easily.
Topic hair concealer is salon quality, made from keratin fibers that instantly bond and blend with your own hair to cover thinning. Hair looks instantly fuller, instantly thicker, and instantly younger. Choose from 9 shades to match virtually any hair color and type. Topic resists wind, rain, and sweat, and stays until you wash it out.
My husband loves my hair when I put my Topic on. He says it looks gorgeous, so it makes me feel good.
I'm so grateful for Topic. It's just completely changed my life in the few months that I've used it.
Now you can have fuller looking hair instantly too. Go to gettopic.com to get our supersized 60-day supply for the low price of just $39.99 and free shipping. And as an added bonus, you'll get our new full hair essentials with these Topic customer favorites, like our hair fattener serum, fiber hold spray, travel hair fibers, and travel tote free. Altogether, this is an $80 value, but with this TV offer, you pay only $39.99. That's a 50% savings. Guaranteed full hair instantly. Or get your money back.
When I use Topic, I see the old me, and I feel like my hair that I had when I was in my 20s and my 30s is back.
You can get Topic in stores, but this TV offer is only available by going to gettopic.com.
At Guild.com, get insider access to coveted designers like Valentino, Chloe, and Dior at up to 70% off retail prices. Shop daily sales before they disappear in a flash. Visit Guild.com today.
I'm Derek Tate, sports anchor for Newsnet. From every touchdown on the gridiron to a face-off at center ice, the Newsnet sports team has you covered around the clock. Tune in over the air or learn about us over at yournewsnet.com.
Well, welcome back to Newsnet. I'm meteorologist Carl Rippey. It's great to see you. We've got some fall colors that are starting to pop out across much of the nation that kind of give you a timeline as we start to head toward the cooler seasons, and we get some overnight lows that are dipping down into those lower 40s and the 30s for some. So we've got some color that's going to start to pop, especially in these areas across the Northwest, across our northern states, and that makes for some really scenic driving. So if you get a chance to get out and about, enjoy those fall colors. We do see a front that's making its way through the upper Midwest. That's going to bring us some severe weather into Minnesota, parts of Wisconsin. Some rain is going to be affecting us across the Great Lakes region as this moves through, and that's going to continue to move on over toward the northeast. In the wake of a storm system that has made its exit over into the Atlantic, we're seeing some nicer conditions for many of us across the interior of the country, and the stage is set for some of these storms to get a little bit more active as we get into our Friday and also into the first part of our weekend. So Thursday, we're going to be looking at these storms that are going to continue to come through. This yellow swath is a swath of severe weather. The darker green is also a swath for some of that severity to become a little bit more enhanced. And then we have these lighter colors where we have chances for these storms to continue to develop. And these are areas where we have some rainfall, we've had some localized flooding, and we've had some stronger winds here and there. Into the northwest, we've had a storm system that has gone through, came in off the Pacific and left us with some cooler weather. Some 80s are popping up across parts of Wyoming, central Wyoming, calling in at 83 for us in Casper. Lower 90s, a little on the warm side for us in Denver as that continues to push out. We've got some heat that continues to come up from the south as well. Upper 80s, Salt Lake City, mid 70s, we still have that haze, these western fires continuing to push that smoke into the atmosphere, and that is causing us some haze across many of our northern and western states. And then along the western seaboard, we're looking at some mid 60s for us in Seattle, lower 80s, mid to upper 70s for us along the Oregon coast. Into San Francisco we go, mid 50s, so that's going to feel cool for us, cold for some. And then those mid 70s for us in LA, almost a winter's day for us in California. Looking at some of these 70s, 80s, we're seeing a 90 or two across the upper Midwest, some heat still holding for us in Kansas, mid 80s for Kansas City, and also looking at some lower 80s across the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes region, not too bad for us across the Midwest. We'll be tracking all that right here from NewsNet.
More news, more often. This is NewsNet.
Jackrabbit Express Delivery and Transport is able to move anything you need relocated. Bought a TV that won't quite fit in your car? Jackrabbit can help. Moving your business, house, or apartment? Jackrabbit can help. Bought some new furniture and need to put it together? Jackrabbit can help. Jackrabbit Express Delivery and Transport can offer same-day service. Contact Jackrabbit for all your moving and assembly needs. 800-730-1891 or email them at info@jackrabbittoday.com.
Hello friends, Big Al here at the #1 volume Chevrolet selling dealership in the whole state of Kansas. 4 years in a row, Davis Moore Chevrolet. Find new roads in a 2021 Chevrolet Silverado Crew Cab LT 4x4, leased for as low as $299 a month. How about a 2021 Chevrolet Silverado Crew Cab LT 4x4? Save up to $4,000 off MSRP, plus get $1,000 worth of accessories and no payments until December. All offers are plus tax, title, license, and administrative fees with approved credit. Lease has a disposition fee and an acquisition fee. Expires September 30th, 2021. Friends, you have to check out our pre-owned inventory. We have taken in the nice selection of trades ever. Fords, Rams, Lincolns, Jeeps, Dodge, Toyotas, Mercedes, Hyundais, GMCs. Wow! Big Al can assist you with any vehicle at any Davis Moore dealership. Whether you want a Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Mazda, Alfa Romeo, or Fiat. Always remember, friends, cars, trucks, new or used, if it has wheels, Big Al makes deals. Come see me, Big Al, under Davis Moore Chevrolet's Big American flag at Kellogg and Tyler, or find me online at BigAlDavisMooreChevrolet.com.
A lot has changed since 1957, but one thing that has remained constant is KBS Motors' superior auto repair service. Family-owned and operated, we'll treat your vehicle like it's our own. Whether it's a simple oil change or a complete overhaul, our certified techs will have your vehicle ready to go in no time. We're open Monday through Friday from 7 to 5. Give us a call or stop by today for an estimate. For the best time-proven auto repair service in Wichita, trust your vehicle with KBS Motors.
Welcome back, and we appreciate you staying here with us. It's time for sports. I'm Derek Tate. You know, it's been 1,330 days since the disgraced former U.S. gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar was sentenced up to 175 years in prison for sexual abuse against over 100 young female gymnasts who were associated with Team USA Gymnastics. And that's abuse that spanned over 2 decades. Tragically, the horrific nature of these crimes, well, they can and in most cases will forever impact the countless victims for the rest of their lives. One of those lives is the young woman widely regarded as the greatest gymnast of all time, Simone Biles, who along with her former teammate Michaela Maroney put forth both emotional and forceful testimony on Wednesday, condemning FBI officials who failed to act in a timely manner when the sexual abuse allegations against Larry Nassar were originally brought to the FBI's attention.
I don't want another young gymnast, Olympic athlete, or any individual to experience the horror that I and hundreds of others have endured before, during, and continuing to this day in the wake of the Larry Nassar abuse. To be clear,
Take your time.
To be clear, I blame Larry Nassar, and I also blame an entire system that enabled and perpetrated his abuse. USA Gymnastics and the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee knew that I was abused by their official team doctor long before I was ever made aware of their knowledge. I sit before you today to raise my voice so that no little girl must endure what I, the athletes at this table, and the countless others who needlessly suffered under Nassar's guise of medical treatment, which we continue to endure today. We suffered and continue to suffer because no one at FBI, USAG, or the USOPC did what was necessary to protect us. We have been failed, and we deserve answers.
These individuals clearly violated policies and were negligent in executing their duties, and in doing so, more girls were abused by Larry Nassar for over a year. To not indict these agents is a disservice to me and my teammates. It is a disservice to the system which was built to protect all of us from abuse. It was a disservice to every victim who suffered needlessly at the hands of Larry Nassar.